everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
Welcome back to all you Regs, to all you Shinies. Welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. Please, before we begin, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that join button, follow us on all of our social media, that being Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. Don't forget to hit up that Discord to meet all of our lovely people in our Discord. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that Patreon 1313 Gungan Boss tier to be entered into our monthly giveaways. This month we're giving away, I don't know.
We don't know yet. We don't
How's
know
that
yet.
ghost?
No.
No, we ain't doing that.
So, yeah, make sure that you're in that. And, I completely lost my train of thought. Fellas, buy the merch, buy the merch. Okay.
This is going to be our last episode in person with everybody here.
For a while.
For a while.
For
A long while.
a while,
long
meaning like
while.
maybe a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I won't be here next week. I'm moving, so I'm not going to be on the podcast because of the move. Jacob and Tommy will be, though.
And then the next week, I won't be here because I'll be in Florida. And then we're going to go all remote.
Yes, podcast will go digital, so stay tuned for these new and exciting changes.
So all of you guys that do your podcasts digitally and remotely, you're going to have to stop because that's going to be our brand.
But we're going to do it better because we're not going to use StreamYard. Oh!
We might try some new things. We'll see.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah, so eventually down the road, we will probably cross paths once again and do an in-person podcast. But aside from that,
Give me 6 months. I'll be back.
yeah. In the meantime, I'm going to hold it down. P.O.P. Hold it down. And I'm gonna be taking care of Obi-Shawn. Be bringing him on some guags this summer, on some toy hunts along with
Like Toy Hio?
along with Bly and Cheesy Napkin and Hybrid. So we'll Did you also know that your father's adopting Hybrid as his son now?
Yeah, he was like, maybe we should go to the movies with Hybrid. I was like, Father, it will take as one of your students to see you and Hybrid wearing one of those shirts. He'll be like, I saw Mr. Fyack with his fat ass son. Because he's also named Jacob, so it does not
That
help.
is true. That is true.
Sorry, Hybrid, I love you. You don't watch our You don't watch our
He
shit.
doesn't watch our stuff anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, that is true.
I love you, Hybrid.
In the means of
I said 2 curse words in the first 10 minutes.
three.
No,
I
I got
said 3.
3. I'll bleep them.
Tone it down.
I'll bleep them.
No more saying cuss words, guys.
YouTube advertisers are not gonna like it.
Yeah, the YouTube advertisers are gonna limit ad suitability.
Yeah, they're only to let us advertise gamer subs.
And Blue Chew.
Use Comment down below what ads you get on this, because I have no
We
idea.
are curious. I've gotten Star Wars ads before a podcast episode.
I usually get
cool.
like Galaxy of Heroes mobile game.
Yeah.
I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get ads. So I don't.
Or
Want
you
a break
can just
from
use
the
a
ad?
VPN or ad blocker.
Or use Opera GX because it has ad
Oh
blocker.
yeah, Opera
already
GX.
installed.
Goated browser. But
Use code 1313 Bloodcast
that's
To-
not a valid code.
to
That's not
get
a valid
10%
code.
off your order using Honey. And
Not a
have
valid
you
code.
heard of Raid Shadow Legends?
Jacob made that up.
And now for our paid sponsorship with Manscaped. So we are now using the
No.
Lawnmower 4.0.
We're gonna use
Not
Tommy
a
to
paid
demonstrate.
sponsor.
We're gonna use Tommy to demonstrate.
We don't endorse Manscaped products
Why?
because you can just buy a cheaper razor at Walmart that does more,
wall.
or
Mark.
just use scissors like a man.
Anyways,
Wait, what? Where are you using scissors?
we're gonna have to go bald.
Where does man using scissors at?
Calm down.
Would you
Calm
like-
down. Let's elaborate after the show.
That's how we get a fade.
Let's elaborate after the
That's
show.
how you get a fade.
I don't have chest hair like you do, Jacob.
I get a
You
number.
don't?
No, I don't.
I do
don't
a
like
number
little
2
chest hair.
burst fade.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Well, that's crazy. I'm starting to look Italian here.
Yeah.
Ah!
I've been doing a bunch of reviews, slowly getting those out.
Yes.
Jackson has also been doing some reviews. We're getting those out as well, unless he, pretends that he records them and doesn't actually record them.
We have one live by the time this episode is up.
And
We were going to do a Holocron one, but we found out more secrets, so I have to re-record it.
And I forget to post the podcast on Anchor.
Please, bro, our audio listener.
It's
up,
up.
it's up
It's
now.
up.
Okay.
Because Tommy said, do it. I said, okay. And I forgot. And then the next day, I woke up like,
The next morning, I saw the emails coming in that it's processing, and I went,
it was like, I woke up, I was like, damn, bro.
aside from that, though, That doesn't count as a cuss word.
I know, I'm just doing it to make him spit his coffee.
Not on my $3,000 computer.
That'd be even more.
That would be awful, Jackson.
Dude, that would be really funny. And next we're gonna bring in the big Gatorade tub and dump it.
Gatorade tub on Jacob.
Also, viewers, no Besman fizzes. We have coffee because it is 10 in the morning and people have to go to work.
Yeah.
Also, I couldn't find a yuzu puree. It's like a Hawaiian fruit puree.
I might be able to find it in Hawaii when I'm there.
Yeah.
Maya said I would probably be able to.
Probably.
And then you can try and ship it, and USPS will go, "That's a bomb product," and they tell you what.
I might try to guag when I go to Hawaii as well because they have a bunch of different Targets and Walmarts. I think it would be really funny to do the stores like on military bases because they get Star Wars Black Series figures that are like a year or two old, but I don't know if that's illegal for me to record. I have to get back to on that
installation
because I don't think I can legally record in their facilities and be like, "Hey guys, check out these Black Series figures," without somebody arresting me. So let me get back to you on all that when I get to the island. But if we have fans on the island, let me know.
I have not forgotten to do the Oga's drinks tier list will happen, but this time it'll just happen from Oga's Cantina. I probably won't be like, I'm going to get all the drinks in one sitting, because if I get too silly and then I walk through the park, they will go, "Your job?" So I'll probably do like 2 at a time and then just like have like a video spanning like a month.
Or you can just gaslight them and tell them, "I don't work here. I don't work here."
Oh, I'll put on one of those glasses with the nose and the mustache. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm 21.
I
I know, I'm joking.
In Star Wars news, the only thing we have this week is literally the day we recorded our podcast last week. It came out that Cinemark Theaters are getting the 2-episode premiere of The Acolyte.
I think AMC is as well.
We don't
It
know
is,
if
yeah.
other... Okay,
I think
AMC, not sure about Regal, not sure about other theaters yet.
I know usually it's just AMC, right?
Yeah,
I guess,
typically. But if you're a Cinemark movie user, if you go on the app and search The Acolyte, it'll be on there. It doesn't have a picture yet. It did this for the Phantom Menace. You can save it and it'll tell you when tickets go live.
Also, if you have a Cinemark near you, the Garfield movie just came out, and they have a Garfield bucket shaped like Garfield, and the popcorn area is his stomach. So you should go get that.
That's pretty funny.
It was
That's
really
kind of
You can
ridiculous.
fill it with lasagna.
I went to see.
Oh, they got the Garfield bucket, but they couldn't get the Phantom Menace bucket?
Yeah, I know.
What
What's
a
up with
dang
that, man?
shame.
Yeah, I went and I was going to see The Fall Guy, which was really good, and I roll up to the popcorn stand and I see Garfield and I was like, "Dad, can we get that one?" He was like, "No." So are we? No, we're not past 10 minutes. Damn it!
We're good, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, if nobody had anything else to say,
I have
could I
nothing.
explain the video topic for today?
Yes, absolutely, Jack.
So you might have seen
So
on
this
our-
week's podcast is going to be...
So you might have seen
So
on our-
on this week of the podcast, we're gonna.
So if you have seen on
So
our...
the topic on
I'm
this
gonna
week's...
kill all of you. Stop. So for this week's podcast episode,
We're doing
we
it.
wanted to revisit some kind of core memories of the show. We've almost been doing this for 3 years. I think this July will be your 3rd anniversary.
June 25th is the 3-year
June 25th.
anniversary of the creation of the social media.
Of the creation of the social media. And so what we wanted to do with the help of our community is we made a 1313 iceberg. Now, if you're not familiar with what an iceberg video is, it's a list of topics, and as the iceberg goes down in length, the topics get a little bit more obscure. So things in the first tier or two, you might know just from watching 1 or 2 of our videos. But if you've been a lifelong fan, you might know some of the topics at the very
Lifelong.
bottom.
All 3 years of your life.
All 3 years of your life. So I did want to give a very big shout out to Commander Cook. He was a oracle of knowledge of 1313
Yes.
lore bits,
Yes.
which we
Yes.
did not expect him to come up with. So he helped provide a lot of this. A lot of people in our Discord, in
Yeah.
our comments section. The Max Rebo Experience, James, was just commenting as soon as I put the iceberg thing up that there's a few more we could have put. There's probably a bunch of topics we could have done that we really didn't remember. If you have your own lore-based topic for 1313, put it down in the comments section below. We can get that added on another date, and maybe we should revisit this in a little while as well, or
Yeah,
make
in another 3 years.
in another 3 years, and make a version 2. But because this is our last episode recording in person, we wanted to make it a bit more personal for the community and do it as like a thank you guys for sticking around and having so many like amazing jokes and laughs with us. But without further ado,
How do we want to go through all these?
let's just go left to right. If you're on social media, you'll be able to see the iceberg for yourself.
It'll be up here when we talk about. I'll put
Jacob
up
will
each
do
tier.
it. Thank you, Jacob.
And then
And if I can find clips of what we're talking about for context, I'll try to put them in.
And then, like Jackson said, so the idea of an iceberg is when you're looking at the water from the surface, you can only see the tip of the iceberg, but the iceberg is like 4 times as big under the water as it is above. So as you get deeper, you get into the topics that into the water level that less people would know and that would be more obscure. So if you're a real fan, you know all these. If not, you're not a real fan.
Not a real fan. All right, but without further ado, let's get right into our first
Tip
topic
of the iceberg,
which is
Just the tip.
technical difficulties.
So
it's been our brand.
It has been our brand.
that's how we're the most mediocre podcast
It
in the
is.
Star Wars universe. Because even before we started recording this, the audio recorder needed to update, and then the mics wouldn't show up. So that was.
Technical difficulties, it's kind of a staple of the podcast, I'd say.
When we first made the Discord, that was like every week something would go wrong when we would try and upload a podcast episode, whether it was video files corrupting or camera footage not showing up or like uploads being frozen or like
Exports crashing.
my laptop not having enough storage, so not the full video would render through and you'd only have the first like 20 minutes instead of the whole 50. So we would always be sharing in the Discord due to technical difficulties. This episode will come out tomorrow. Due to technical difficulties, this will come out tonight. And so that, I feel like if you know 1313, it's part of our brand.
Yeah, I would agree.
Surface level.
Very first level.
Yes.
Next level going to be La Turret.
Well, same tip.
Same tier, still in tier 1.
I feel like La Turret's a little bit more of a dig. I feel like you have to.
like we say it almost every time on the show.
You
we
have
reference
to be like
Hunter in the episode.
Yeah, so context, Latendi and then the Discord 212 Hunter. Is it still No, it's only 212 Hunter. It used to go by Latendi.
Yeah.
So as a joke for Battlefront 2, we started calling him La Turret, and then he changed his profile picture to a turret for a little bit.
And then there's like pictures of him in the Discord with a turret. When we were at ICC, took a picture, and then General Fidelis and Blind, I should say, in the Discord has a picture of like the Skylanders dude with the turret. It says La Turret strikes again whenever he like buys a hot toy or something. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, and he's our biggest donor when it comes to our Patreon and everything like that.
One of our biggest supporters.
We're constantly we've done whole videos where he sent us packages and stuff. So he's a
bless you.
Probably the 1313 super fan.
I would say so.
I would say.
He's just a cool dude.
Yeah, everyone knows who he is if you know the 1313 community. He's like tangentially known.
Hi, Hunter.
The next one is a more recent.
This is for Jacob.
Need more bullets. So, like what? It was the it was the beginning of last year.
It was at Tika's, right? When you first
was it at Tika's?
I don't know.
No, it was on a podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when the TikTok NPC live streams became like a big thing, there's this one guy, and he would pretend to be a soldier, and he had a massive ass, and he would wear like he was like this French dude, and he would wear these camouflage spandex. And one of his things, if you donated a certain thing, he'd be like, "I need more bullets," and then he'd like pretend to shoot a machine gun with his butt in the frame, and then his ass would jiggle, and that was the joke. So then I did that on a I'll just do it
on a podcast.
Jacob's just gonna
I would
see in parentheses.
I need more bullets.
For the topic, I had in parentheses originally Jacob's ass shaking, but I knew I couldn't fit all that on the iceberg, so I had to just put Jacob in the parentheses.
I'm always moving my hips. I always be there's many instances where I'd be
What's he doing?
I'd be shaking my tuchus on the pod.
Oh, he had to grab it.
Had to grab it. The next one on the is Red Chrome Boba Fett.
Red Chrome Boba Fett. Red Chrome Boba Fett. Red Chrome Boba Fett. Red Chrome Boba Fett. Red Chrome Boba Fett.
Red Chrome Boba Fett. So that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, this was a Funko Pop that I think your dad picked up from
the
Target Con 2022, and it was
literally
like,
worth nothing.
No, and so this would show up in the Discord. People would go to the character limit on messages and just in all capital letters, just Red Chrome Boba Fett spam in the Discord, and I don't even remember who started it.
I think we did.
Maybe
we said it one time on a video. I think on Tika's or something.
We just did the Red Chrome Boba Fett. Red Chrome Boba Fett. So
Red Chrome Boba Fett is an occasional joke. If you're in the Discord or if you've watched some of our videos, we just will spam that.
Mm-hmm.
The next one,
Jackson loves Sabine. This is not a question.
This is not a.
This is not a secret.
I got to
whatsoever.
meet both my queens, you know. Jacob made a picture of me.
Yeah, I have this picture. It's a thumbnail.
I found it. Do you want me to send that to you
I
so
have
you
it
can
still.
put in the video?
So I have this picture that I photoshopped of Jackson. So I found this picture that somebody drew of Sabine and Ezra making out, and I took Ezra out and put Jackson there. And then, like, last week, I'm at dinner with Jackson and his wife, and I pull out that picture, and she was like, I really hate that. I really don't like she was getting mad about it, so. So
She
here
was
it is.
pretty upset I was going to go see Sabine. She was like, you literally think Sabine is hot? I was like, I realistically don't. I don't find any women in Star Wars attractive. I was like, it's just a cool character.
You lying.
You lying.
Natasha was very nice. Thank you for signing my lightsaber.
I'm sending that clip to Natasha. So, but no, that's not a secret whatsoever. Jackson's got his little alt girl crush in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Alt girl.
The next one, the final one on the tip of the iceberg,
Final for tier
1, is the first episode.
Yeah.
So there's some lore behind our first episode of the podcast. We actually recorded that one on Jacob's DSLR camera.
Yes.
And we didn't know at the time that only recorded, 15 minutes of footage?
15 or 20
So
minutes.
after 15 minutes, the camera's
shut
just
off.
black and it's just the title screen of our YouTube banner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the rest of the video is.
I
And
feel
that's our
like
whole first podcast episode.
Yeah, I feel like that one's also really well known. That's why I put it as a number one, because we talk about how bad our first episode was. Again, with technical difficulties, the beginning of the podcast was rough. Now I feel like we have it to a very decent schedule, minus last week's episode with the difficulty in uploading Jacob's computer.
We haven't had an issue like that in a while.
Oh yeah, we
No,
haven't had an issue like that in a while.
Because I kept my computer here, I clicked upload, and then I left and I went to work, and I forget what I did the rest of the day, but I went and did something, and I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh, it'll be up, and I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh crap, I need to make the thumbnail still. And then I look at my phone, and Tommy's like, where's the episode? I was like, what do you mean, where's the episode? So I look, and it was stuck on 10%. I was like,
Yeah.
no!
Uploads will freeze on YouTube if you if you lose internet connection, you
Yeah.
close your laptop goes to sleep.
No idea what
So
happened.
super annoying, but
So that happened.
Unfortunate.
But no, it's really, go back and watch that first episode and just see how like muted and tame we are. Like, hey guys, welcome
with the
to
headphones
podcast.
on.
yeah. Oh, that's later.
So now we're at the surface level water.
Yeah,
Yes,
just below the
tier.
surface.
Tier 2.
This first one here is one of my favorite stories to ever come out of the podcast.
Yes.
I tell this one all the time. Dry turkey.
So, Dry Turkey was talking about how Jacob and I notoriously hate turkey. Don't give me that look, bro. How we hate turkey because it'd be dry.
So it was our Thanksgiving episode in
Yeah.
2022, I think.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about how much you hate turkey, and I was like, "Oh, like what? Like my turkey's fine. Like my turkey's fine. My turkey's not dry." And then Jackson just looks at the camera and goes, "Ours is." And then the camera cut immediately after that. Like I think we lost like camera footage. Like the SD was full.
I
So
didn't
then
know
it's like
that.
elevator music starts playing, and everyone's like, "What happened to the camera? What happened to the camera?" Like
Yeah.
immediately, it was comedic timing was perfect right there. But that's one of my favorite.
Do you have anything to
stories.
say about turkey?
No. I will say this. Anyway, so so the next tier, the
This is a
1313
class.
the 1313 podcast does not condone ... all these I feel like are pretty self-explanatory, but then again, it's us. So
Right.
Yeah.
whenever some tomfoolery or befuddlement would come upon our lips, we would have to disclose the fact that we did not support drugs, violence, or whatever.
Like the I love
Bombing of
lean
small
bit.
European countries.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, which country was it that I?
Something or Sweden
I
or
don't
something.
know.
It was the
It
one
was
whatever
one of
Lego
those.
is
I
made
think
of.
it was
some
Sweden.
fake country. So
Whoa.
they're not real. When you read a history book, where do you see them? World War II, and that's it. Fake.
Wild.
The next one is,
This is one
I
of
know
my
this is when
favorites.
Jackson had to
The
put
1313 podcast does not condone nationalism. Anyway.
But we put the next one is Jacob always on his phone. If you've watched any episode of the podcast, when Jacob decides he has something to do, He does that, where he puts his head right down and just stares at his phone in the middle of the show.
Hold up, I gotta do something.
Oh, that's too
For me, it's a little bit of an annoyance, but I thought it was just funny to kind of jab at Jacob in a funny way and just put it on the iceberg.
My mom's getting robbed right now.
No, she's not getting robbed.
So the next
Guys that
one
are robbing her.
is Zero the Hut. And so
Yes.
if you guys have watched any of our lives, a lot of our live streams,
Mm-hmm.
you'll know that I do a pretty good Zero the Hut impression.
Do the Zero the Hut, Tommy.
Mama, I didn't want to do this iceberg and be on the iceberg, Mama. I didn't get you a new mind knob for Mother's Day. Please don't kill me.
So
Thank you.
I love those nice.
I just should have.
Never mind.
Teach me how to Dougie so I can go to the school dance. Get jiggy with it.
I need
Yeah.
more bullet.
Just, I feel
I
like it's
need more
really funny.
bullets.
It's a funny impression to put on.
yeah, so the Zero the Hut, I don't even remember how it first came up, but it came up in a live stream, and it's come up several times since.
Yeah.
So.
Now it's just, Mama, just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pull a trigger, now he's dead.
So yeah,
So the next one here is Rex versus Fordo. So
Rex is better.
if you're in our Discord,
Rex is
you've
better.
definitely heard about this. This was an argument that has been an ongoing thing between myself and Phase 2 Action Review in
Yes.
the Discord. Phase 2 Action Review is a Captain Rex glazer, and I am a Captain Fordo appreciator. It's funny because I have a Captain Rex tattoo on my arm.
Yes. Oh, he's
But
a
I've always been
glazer,
of the.
alright.
This actually stemmed from an argument we had on the podcast.
Yes.
Because I was saying that Captain Fordo would beat Captain Rex in a fight, and you guys were saying Captain Rex would win in a fight. And
Rex would body Fordo.
it has been an ongoing conflict in our Discord ever since then.
Yep.
So that's the lore behind
It's
it.
kind of randomly brought up, and when it does, I'm like, I hate it so much sometimes.
That ban button's looking real good. That ban button's look-
Time out.
This next one's one of Jacob's favorites.
Jackson and the Mythosaur. So
No, no, Mandalorian.
season 3 of The Mandalorian,
Shut up.
there was this really important
Skip
scene
the topic.
that
right
was
at the
like,
end of the episode.
that was like super hard to miss, where a light gets shined on the literal Mythosaur, and it's like full frame,
first time on screen.
first time on screen. Everybody's talking about it. And I don't know if Jackson put in the wrong contacts that day or something, but he was like, the Mythosaur's in that episode?
No, he's. I remember this vividly because he was like, "Yeah," and I just thought it was kind of crazy. Mando falls into the water, and you just see this huge depth and expanse of just water, and we thought he was joking at first, and we're like, "You didn't what?" And he's like, "No, it's just water, right?"
No.
Completely missed the myth.
Whoops.
Completely missed that. I don't know how you missed that. I don't know how you missed that.
So
But
that
It was a
hilarious.
mistake. It was an accident.
have a chat. So
Have a chat.
I feel like this is more a tip of the iceberg. But
One of our dead series.
Could go either way.
not
That
dead.
we have to revive.
We
Yeah.
just got to put the defibrillators on it. We just got to give it some Narcan and bring it back. So it's we used to do like every week have a chat where we'd have a guest on and talk to different people. We had Vanessa Marshall on.
Yes.
We had Mark Thompson. We've had Rexon around. We've had
A
everybody.
lot of our friends.
Most of our friends. We just talked to everybody. So we used to do that like once a week, and then life got busy and guests got hard to find, and then we just because we didn't want to cycle back to the same people so soon.
Yeah.
Because we already talked to them all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like we just want to like continue to like keep things fresh and like talk to new people and like, and then it just like stopped happening. So
Yeah, and shout out to Lucas Monster for being the only repeat guest on our Habitat series. The only one.
Yeah, we should bring it back though. At least I've always said that we should bring it back before ICC and like talk to a bunch of the vendors. I have all their business cards in my desk on my room. I just found those.
too bad nobody's gonna be here in that room.
I could just take them with me.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be like, "What's this trash?"
Habitat may make a return, but it would probably only be one or two of us talking to the guest
Yeah.
in this case. Cause
Or I'll find the what's that guy's name? Mark said, he was like, Disney Secrets. I'll track him down at Disney. I'll be like, sir, I do a show. I want you to, I
That guy's
texted you.
cool.
I texted you and you never replied.
I'm no longer asking. Come on my show.
They could totally do Darth Chaco.
Yeah, he'd be cool.
He's cool.
So the next one here is Tommy Sims for Sideshow. This is the name.
Tommy is a sideshow glazer.
So
Ever since he decided to get a big boy job and start pumping out reviews, it's like, guys, I bought a sideshow. Everyone in the Discord, look at all these sideshows I bought.
Yeah.
Sideshow's so much better
really-
than the Black
Dude,
Series.
Tommy sent his
the
receipts,
fail scale.
his receipts for the Thrawn, the Enoch, and the Night Trooper, and I was just like, man, I want those.
So realistically,
I wish I could find
That's an Iceberg gun.
realistically, it only cost me about $25 per to do the non-refundable down payment, and then on top of that, I got one for free on the down payment because I had the $25 in rewards, and then the payment plans don't start until September. So I was like, oh, I could
Yeah.
swing this. So I am we did one episode where I bought the 501st Deluxe
Yes.
hot toy.
And you glazed
And
over
I
that one.
was-
That's why that made it on the list.
Yeah, and so ever
It's
since
so
then,
good.
I've just had this this slow, slippery slope of Hot Toys products.
Yes.
I bought, and then I told myself, we're only gonna get the 501st. And then I bought Boba Fett on the throne, and then I got the Thrawn, and now I got the Darth Maul on the speeder, and it's like
They're cool though.
they're
I
cool.
mean-
They're really cool. They're cool to get like once in a while.
Yeah. And it's good that they have a payment plan so you can actually
Yes.
afford the
I'm
product.
not Skywalker Hendrix who just buys
Balling
all
out.
of them all the time.
Green FM.
Major baller.
Last one I got was at ErieCon, actually. I got
Oh,
that-
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
the
I remember
Kylo
that.
Ren.
And then
It's a
the kid,
cool
and then the
Kylo
kid
Ren.
that you sold the one to traded it for a brand new
Yeah, and then we
Gladiator
haven't-
Hulk hot toy.
I don't think we've shown this off.
No, we
at
didn't
all.
even
No.
review it, and we
We-
totally
We
should.
didn't review this at all, but we've had this in the room for like a month now.
Darth
The
Vader.
new Vader.
Totally need to review that.
What happened to that box?
Vader's
skip
been
it.
sitting on it, dude.
It's a heavy boy.
So but he's not out of the box yet because there's like nowhere to put him,
Right.
as you can see.
Yeah.
So those of you that don't know, there's a corner of the room here where we have like 3 desks, and then there's like kind of haphazard shelves. We're redoing the basement right now, and those are moving. So when those move, we're gonna basically do this on those walls, and we might shift the recording setup to shoot into this corner, and then just this whole room's gonna get renovated within the next year. So cool.
Setup will look different. Collection room will look different.
Yeah.
Probably when we all get back here, it'll be very at least when I get back here, it'll be different.
Did you pray today?
Did you pray today?
I'm not doing this.
Cause if you didn't.
I'm not gonna say the rest.
Oh no, we didn't turn off the yellow light. Crap. So the beginning of the video is kind of. So if you don't know crap, I knocked over the fingers. If you didn't know the did you pray today bit, there's a bit online where some guy just like, did you pray today? And then starts to like furiously hump like a desk or like a dresser or something. So Tommy and I stood up in the middle of an episode and just like furiously humped Jacob. And
There's
he
not
was
a lot of
so
stuff
upset about
that
it.
makes Jacob uncomfortable or not at ease. Because Jacob
No.
is usually the source of the chaos on the show.
Yeah.
But
So,
when we say, did you pray today? It's a fight or flight response.
It's a Pavlovian response.
so it was, that was kind of unlocking a fear for Jacob.
I forgot to turn this on too.
Oh no!
We're amateurs.
We're amateurs. Technical difficulties.
Um,
While he's going on about that, let's talk
Mediocre to
about
the end.
Jack. Oh no, we have toe picks before that.
toe picks.
Toe picks were a huge thing for a while in
Yeah,
the
in the
Discord.
beginning it was.
And I'm kind of glad it faded away because people were like, 1313 toe picks, please. And we were like, no.
It was just getting weird.
It was getting weird. I'm glad that like died down.
Yeah, taupe. And then like someone would send a picture, and if someone had bare feet, everyone would just zoom in on that person's feet and be like, toe picks, toe picks.
That was a nasty one.
Those
for
are the
sure.
dark times.
You guys in the Discord are diabolical sometimes.
Yeah.
We have Jackson's punishments.
Jackson's punishments is pretty good.
So every single time we do some sort of stream or some sort of challenge where we're like, and the loser gets punished, he always loses. Always.
Usually trivia.
Yeah.
I won before at trivia. I was pretty decent at trivia.
I didn't lose.
I don't know. So Jackson's punishments, whether it's eating raw pumpkin on the Halloween live stream last year.
That was
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That was a good one. I
Um,
should have made you eat it all.
The next one we have here is the 1313 sanctioned event.
Like, we've had a few moments where we've had to discuss that even though we might be participating in something like an Xbox party and we're playing with friends, that doesn't make it a 1313 sanctioned event. It's us playing video games and
With
having
our
fun
friends.
with people that we know and with people that we might not always agree with across various different spectrums. So that's why we wanted to put that on there, because we will have events that are like 1313 sanctioned that, hey
Where we
guys,
officially announce them.
yes,
Yeah.
where we officially but if we're playing on Xbox or we're living our daily lives, that doesn't mean we have to make it a 1313 sanctioned event.
Yeah. So I felt like that was a fun one.
And finally, on this section, the laggy streams, probably the most embarrassing point on this, just because so we upgraded our Wi-Fi like halfway through doing this, so now we don't have this issue anymore. But
It wasn't like a wiring issue.
it was just the modem was old, and it was it happened when we had Mark Thompson on the show, and I felt like such an amateur. I'm still like, dude does not reply to my messages anymore after that. I'm still so embarrassed by that, of like how bad that looked. But no, it was just we would be on like StreamYard, and then everybody else would keep going, and then I would stop, and then I would do Lego streams, and that would happen. So then people started calling me Jakeness Lagster. It's like one of the only things that like, it's hard to get under my skin. That got on me pretty bad. So now I don't care, just because it's like whatever. But at the time it was like, because it was something so out of my hands, I was like, guys, I'd appreciate it if you stop. I'm really trying here. So no, that was that.
So now we're going into
Tier 3.
Tier 3, kind of middle of the iceberg.
Yeah. This is where the Titanic got hit.
There's
This
two
is-
more tiers, right?
Yeah, after this.
Okay, that's what I
So
thought.
this is kind of where, if you're not a regular viewer of the show, you probably and you're like,
If you weren't
Yeah.
a patron, you didn't get to see the behind the scenes.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you're not in our Discord, if you're not a regular viewer, you probably won't get most of this stuff, or it's in
Yeah.
a reference to a specific statement made in a specific podcast episode.
Yes.
You know, so
Again, it's going to get more obscure as we go down.
So the first thing we have here is Jackson being bullied on Tika's trading post.
It's like a national pastime.
I hate you both.
So
We would record those episodes, and because of just the dynamic of what Tika's was, it was very like upbeat and very like try your best to be like make jokes
Very
about
high
stuff.
energy.
yeah.
So usually the funnies would get rolling, and then the funnies would just turn into let's dog on Jackson pretty much every time.
Just gang up on Jackson.
Exclusively on Jackson. Never to Tom, never to me.
No, usually it was only
It was
him.
only
I
Jackson.
would try to talk, and they would interrupt me, or I would almost be done recording a bit, and they would make fun of me.
And then we'd like walk in front of him like while he's talking.
So
So check out this or like we'd start making noise or just make eye contact and start laughing while he's talking.
And the Tika's blooper reels, they used to be Patreon exclusive, but now if you're a channel member on YouTube, you get access to all of the blooper reels as well. You'll see all of the bullying if you join either any tier of the Patreon or the channel membership. You'll see Jackson just gets absolutely just
lambasted.
picked on in the yeah.
So
Not a fun time. I'm glad we haven't recorded Tika's in a while.
we should record one right now actually.
So going on to the next topic in this tier, we have recognized in Walgreens. This was the first time we had ever been recognized in public.
This was a May the 4th hunt. When
May
we
the 4th, 2022.
Yes, and we were hunting for the 212th Walgreens exclusive clone trooper.
Which is a bad figure now, but
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time.
we're walking into a Walgreens. It's the furthest one from us. So it's like on a side of town that we're usually not on.
Yeah.
And I have my phone up because I'm recording us walking in. And as we walk in, this guy just goes. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
literally
Yeah,
points at
yeah.
us with no words, just
And I
goes,
was like, we're about to get yelled at for having the camera out. So I start to put my phone away, just being like, preparing for it. And he goes, I know you guys. And we're like, what?
No, you don't.
And you're like, no. And then he's like, no, I watch you guys. We're like, huh? So shout out to our barber, Jeff.
Jeff is the real homie, hooking a brother up. Shout out to my barber dog.
He's spreading the grand word of 1313 to the people of Erie that like Black Series. So yeah, he watched us and found us out. And since then, we've been recognized
Several times.
several times. It's still a really weird experience. Usually, for the last 2 times, it's been Phantom Menace Dennis.
Shout out to the homie Dennis.
Phantom Menace
Pulled up to Steel City Con wearing his 1313 hoodie. That was dope.
And the Pirates.
And
Pirates game.
there was that. There's that one time where we were at Target with Hybrid and some dude recognized like you and me and Jackson.
I think you recognized Hybrid too.
Yeah,
right?
he did recognize Hybrid too.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Which was kind of weird.
But it was like I don't even think we met him at ErieCon.
No, that was just a guy.
Yeah,
it
just a
was
random
guy.
dude.
So if you're watching this, what's up, man? I'm sorry I forget you. We were talking about music, and then I think your girlfriend was like, "We gotta go." But he's cool. I'm trying to think of who else that we've bumped into because I want to give everybody. Most people that recognize us are people that went to ErieCon one year and then just saw us again the next year. And
Right,
like,
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
There was a lot of that. I can't really think of another instance where we've been like but I mean, like, thank you to everybody who says hi to us in public. I mean, like, we'll talk. We're people.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we usually chit chat with you for a while. So.
We're not incels.
We
like
like to-
most
yeah.
of you, so.
Never mind.
This is one of my least favorite topics. Up next was Jackson hates 4D.
This is one of my
This is a
favorites.
specific bit, and I don't know what episode it is, but it was a rant that I did about how I hated the advertisements for 4D, like with the Spy Kids movie, and how there's no such thing as a fourth dimension
There is.
because smell is not
There
a
is.
dimension.
There is.
It is.
It is.
I'm not gonna rant about this again, but I get really, really heated in the episode.
does.
Well, it's
about it.
okay just because you're misinformed. The fourth dimension is just another sense, like multimodality. Most of the time, it's the effect of time. But Jackson's just dumb and small-brained and doesn't understand artistic expressionism. So he's like, nah, 4D don't exist. Nah.
There is no such thing as 4D.
No such thing as
No
4D.
such
Can't convince me otherwise. Like the coral reefs are not dying. You cannot convince me.
Jackson,
That's something that is 100% a joke. The coral reefs are in danger. I would say that to Jacob because he would come back from marine biology class and be like, "Well, Jackson, global warming in the reefs," and I was like, "Yeah, that isn't real," and he would get so mad at us every time.
because I finally started to realize that coral reefs produce like a third of the oxygen on this planet, and because like even like the temperature goes up 1 degree, they're like, I'm out, homie. So but now you're gonna move to a place and you're gonna get to see all the dead corals, and then you're gonna finally feel bad about it, and you're gonna get your SPF that's more expensive because it doesn't hurt the ocean.
No, I'm not gonna buy that because it's more expensive. Nobody in Hawaii reasonably buys that.
You're an incel.
So the
Sorry,
next
my
one,
money ain't up.
the next one's one of my favorites that made it on the
I hate
iceberg.
that
It
so
is
much.
the shark attack.
The shark attack.
We hence the bobblehead.
Yeah, if you wondered why this is on here.
Yeah, when the
So,
shark is on the show.
The jig is up. We have to talk about shark attack.
We
So,
have to talk about it.
We had someone in our Discord who went by the screen name of Psychotic Shark.
Yes.
And he was the most miserable, just like negative person
Let me.
probably that I've ever met. Was constantly picking fights with other people in our Discord and just like making everything just a sob story and just a negative and just being generally miserable. He ended up getting banned from the Discord, but
Yeah.
we would be talking, like people would be actively having like a positive conversation, like a really, and he would just jump in and just completely derail the whole thing. So some of us in our Patreon exclusive chat and others, we came up with the term of a shark attack, hence because of his name.
And then it made its way out of that chat, and then
Yeah.
everybody would just start sending shark attack gifts.
Yeah.
From Jaws.
specifically the shark with the human teeth.
yeah.
The shark with the human teeth.
It was really funny, and it's to this day, like if somebody is like trolling someone,
It's a shark attack.
you send a shark emoji, you react to a message with a shark emoji in the
With the
Discord to
human
let
teeth.
someone know you're being sarcastic.
Yes, and
Very funny.
We do not take banning lightly in our Discord. We try to promote positivity, and if we have an issue with a member, we will set up conversations, and we
and
have
give people
before.
chances.
Yeah, we try to make our community very positive, and if you're going to be very
Negative
negative
Nancy.
to people and hurt other people in a malicious way, we don't respect that. So
And usually there's a 1313, and I say usually because that will come in later. There's a 1313 round table
Oh, we got some lore coming up in the next
doing
tier.
on some lore.
We got
How the
some lore.
1313 podcast almost was shattered. That's in the next
Anyway,
tier.
so next up we got Lego hair. So
I hate you both.
for those that don't know, Jackson has pretty much copied every sense of style I have ever adopted.
That's
Usually
not
about
true.
a year to 6. I'll go through the timeline.
Oh
So
my
in
gosh.
middle school, Jackson's design elementary school he wore the neons and the basketball shorts, which I could not stand. I thought they looked terrible. Then
I thought it was drippy.
it was not. Then in middle school,
You must
Jackson
be fast in the relay races.
Jackson upgraded to exclusively wearing baggy sweatpants and hoodies at all times.
It was a middle school phase, bro.
It lasted from there until about freshman year of high school, because when our first year at our high school we had to like wear uniforms, so it kind of died there, but it would still surface like whenever he wasn't at school. I wore clothes that were too tight in middle school into high school,
And scarves.
and scarves. They were awesome.
Don't dog the scarf, bro.
It was a scarf from Titanfall, dude. It was awesome. But it was so. My style was very like slim fitting and stuff, and Jackson was just overtly baggy. And then when Jackson started to get into college, first he started wearing things that would like he started copying like the skinny jeans was like end of senior year,
Oh my god.
and then after that he started wearing fitted things because I was like I'd buy him outfits. I'd be like wear this instead because I was tired of him looking like a
You're
bum.
scaring the hoe.
I was tired of him looking like a bum.
You're scaring the
So then after that, for a long time, I did an undercut, and now Jackson.
I don't have an undercut.
This is exactly what that is. What you have right now, that's an undercut. That's exactly
Not
what I
an
had.
undercut.
This is what I had in high
You're gonna
school.
tell me you're a flat earther next?
No, I'm a hollow earther.
Shut up.
I can explain that later.
So Jackson, he's copied my hair. He's copied my style. He copied my glasses. It's the
Okay,
same.
you thought it was a cool idea to get the same style of glasses.
and
His
then-
are gold miners.
And I got my ears pierced, and now look at him. Now his ears are pierced. The only thing he's ever done before me was get a tattoo, and that's the only thing he has
Shut
on me.
up.
That's
So-
too funny. That's too
So,
funny.
but Lego hair was this phase of when Jackson got a 2 on the sides and on the top, and it was the same length all the way around, and it looks like somebody just went to his head. So
That was
Yeah.
an awful time in my life.
It was
That's why I
like
have
Lego
very long
movie
hair.
Emmett cut.
the Emmett cut,
Yeah.
Lego hair, helmet hair. It was just it looked like somebody put a balaclava on his head and just said, "There you go." So that was.
I hate you both. I hate you both.
You're welcome.
The
Now
next
you look
one.
better.
The next one is Boss Nass.
It's a Tommy impression.
Another one. Well, there was an episode. It's a TikTok clip on our TikTok and Instagram and
Yeah.
everything. But I don't remember what we were talking about. We were saying that some Star Wars fans remind us of Boss Nass. And we were all doing about. We were like, Misa no like the Last Jedi. Misa favorite party of the Last Jedi was the credits.
So that was a good meme.
You said take a bongo.
So yeah, that's a.
Yeah, Boss Nass impression is one that we all do from time to time. And he's the mascot of our Gungan Boss tier
Yes.
of our Patreon. So
And then
Boss
our-
Nass is very important to us.
Our locked Discord channel is also Untagunga.
Yes,
So-
which is the Gungan city.
We have a Gungan City.
It's a hit. Is this on? I don't know.
This
No,
is
the
not.
anime-
This
anime
is too
hands.
new that it didn't make it onto the tier.
I'm including it now. So we do this. So I go to an art school, and I'm in a department with a lot of animators, and there are people that do this.
And I saw it when I went to Cleveland Fan Expo, bro. People did this to me wanting to take pictures.
Are you fives? Would you mind if I take a picture?
And I'm not even joking. They did that like in all seriousness.
But people would do that in my department, so me and my buddy Ryan like adopted it as a joke, and then it spread to here. So
I think if we do another Iceberg, like Jackson said, in like 3 more years, I think the Trump Biden impressions have to go.
Trump and
on to
Biden
the
will
next
make
one
it
as well.
onto the
Yeah.
iceberg.
because now apparently people are starting to complain about it.
Really?
My Trump and Jackson saying somebody was like watching.
Teddy didn't like it. He said every time
Oh.
your brother does the Trump impression, I want to shoot myself. And the action figures fell, so they shot themselves. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
No one other, none better.
Natural selection. I just.
Teddy, this one's for you. Some people like my impressions. I do the best impressions. Let me know my dance.
Let's move on to the next one.
So the next one is the TikToks.
TikToks. And this is really in reference to we've intentionally made clickbaity TikToks
Yes.
to get a reaction. And people have stitched our videos and like heinously wished upon our deaths and like
I feel like a
destruction.
deeper dive than that. when we first got TikTok, Tommy and I would like at work, we would do
that was also part of
we
it,
would
too.
do TikTok dances at work and stuff, and like
so
make
cringe
like,
looking back at it now.
No,
It's funny.
they were. I loved doing it.
I
I wish
think
we did it more because
The ones that we did that were meme trends, I liked. The ones where we were just straight up trying to do a dance, I was like, this is...
No.
Someone made a fan cam of it.
somebody made a
Someone made
one
a
time.
fan cam of it.
That was crazy, but it was the fact that that one where we did it was like the Nintendo, the
Yes.
Sega one.
With Grogu like.
Oh, that one
Yeah.
was good.
That
See,
one-
That was good.
that one was good.
It popped off, and it was like,
And the sound got removed.
yeah, unfortunately, but it was like that got like what, a couple 100,000 views.
Yes.
Everybody in the Star Wars community saw it. Like,
Women were like, over
Slaya-
Jacob and Tom.
I want to sit on those helmets. Oh my
Slaya saw
gosh.
it.
Yeah, Slaya saw it. That's an achievement right there.
And then another one that popped off was when we did because this was I think when Jackson had just come back from Taiwan, so you didn't work a lot. at
No.
that
oh,
time. And the one where it was the Berlizzi sound, where he's like, no, and we were like the mods.
with the mods. That
Jacob
was like
cut a water
peak-
bottle in half and put it over his eye.
That was peak Book of Boba Fett time too, so that like really popped off.
I
It
feel like
was a
Book of
joke.
Boba was like we were going really hard in the paint, like anti-hater on
Yes.
Star Wars at that time, and so we were just
lambasting
Yeah.
us. I know. Especially when I'm down in Florida and I'm in Disney. I kind of want to like revive and like specifically like make TikToks just because
Go for it.
Should.
Just
Go for
like
it.
I've had this idea that I'm not gonna do now just because this is too recognizable. But I was like, okay, I'll get absolutely shredded and I'll make thirst traps with a helmet on.
I remember
And
that.
I was gonna call it
Yeah.
I
CT
remember that
sexy.
idea.
And somebody's already doing it now, so they beat me to it, and I'm not. But that's why I would wear a helmet, because it would be so cringe, but it would just be like farming. It'd be farming.
You'd be at the gym and someone would go, I recognize those biceps.
Well, they'd be like, I recognize. If anything, it'd be this, and I'm
Yeah.
like not gonna cover that
That's
up.
not me.
That's not me.
Totally
Dude, somebody
different.
recognized it at Lunchcrafters the other day.
That's wild.
Oh
They're
wow.
like, Star Wars? I was like, yeah. They're like, Thrawn? I was like, you're the first person to get it.
Wow.
So,
The next one we have is
The
Bad
Bad
Batch
Batch
Rex.
Rex. That was
thought
one
we
of
were
the.
no
we can
worries,
just
Bad
go
Batch
over-
Rex.
That was one of the worst giveaways we've ever done. That
It
was when we
lasted-
hit 500 subscribers, was it?
yeah. And
Lasted a year.
it
It
lasted
lasted
so
a
long.
year.
We were every day, every single podcast episode. I feel like from 2022 to 2023, you will just see Bad Batch Rex figure. When we hit a 500 subscribers, we will give away this Bad Batch
And it
Rex
took us
figure.
so long.
And
to
then
hit
when we
it.
were about to give it away, it went back on stock in Walmart, so it wasn't even like a worth it giveaway. So we gave away another figure or two with
I think
it.
we gave away a 2/12, right?
Mhm.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, that was so. We'll never do that again. We
No.
will never give away a prize at a
Announce a
set
giveaway.
number of subscribers.
Yeah,
No.
it was.
It was wild. It was getting to the point where it was like I didn't even want to mention it anymore. Like,
Yeah, it was
like,
so bad.
one day when we maybe hit 500, we'll
Yep.
do the Bad Batch.
But it
Rex.
was such a meme, so we had to.
That was back when like we would gain one subscriber every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we would lose two.
we would lose two
Yeah.
immediately the same
Sisyphus
day.
rolling up that boulder.
The next one we have is a Jackson reference.
Yes.
This is old.
This was a-
man.
It is Tee Troopers. And what this
Yes.
was in reference
I wasn't
to
even there for this.
was, oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it was
so,
a stream that I wasn't there for.
Oh, I got to stand up for this one. Cause
No, this was a podcast episode because I think there were like
Yeah.
3 in a row where Jacob just was getting swamped with
Yeah.
homework your freshman
So-
year.
What this is in reference to is that when you have a Black Series figure that has poor posability with the legs, you have to stand it. I'm going to use Jacob as a balance, but you have to stand
use
it
me as a
almost
prop.
leaning forward like this. And so I called it the Michael Jackson, like a Tee Trooper. Like it's got to
Michael
lean
Jackson
forward like
and a
this
fella
to hit like
forward.
maximum like posability. And Out of the Basement used it for a while too. It's been on their. I
They
mean,
still
they've said
call
like
them
Tee
Tee
Troopers.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a really funny. I mean, I'm glad it's stuck in the Black Series community. I did coin it. I will personally take that. But no, I think it's like just a funny thing that we. came
I
up
was
with.
I can't
in
believe you
tears.
put this on the.
I think Cook put that one on. There.
Cook came up with like probably like
Not
more
the
than half of
Tee
these.
Troopers. We're looking at the
Um,
bottom
oh,
tiers.
The last one on this tier is the Tuscan noise.
Yeah, that's when Book of Boba Fett was out, and we thought it was really funny how they did the Tusken noises. So we were like practicing like the mimics of like the sign language or whatever that they use.
Yeah,
versus
Tommy
the
knows
noise.
sign language. We don't, so we just
So yeah, we do it.
we just
Tommy actually knows.
we just gesticulate.
If you know what I said in sign language just now, I did actually say, "What is your name?"
all right. Now we're going on to tier. We're on to tier 4. I'm gonna scroll this down. We're now moving on to tier 4, everybody.
We're almost at the
All
bottom.
right. You thought Jackson and Sabine was bad, but maybe you've never heard of Jackson and Lope, the rabbit.
The low punny.
So this was, again, right around when we started the podcast, was when the first season of Visions came out.
Yes.
And I remember Jackson and I did a special episode, like a special about it.
Yes, we did.
In my college apartment
Yeah.
bedroom. And we did it on StreamYard for some reason. And we did that was the start of this whole thing where we called it Jackson and Bunny Girl. And if you were in the Discord in the very beginning, Jackson and Bunny Girl was a thing. And I remember who got upset. Like, I think it was, you were like, guys, don't make this joke anymore.
No, it was my dad.
Yeah,
My dad didn't want anybody to make the joke anymore because he thought it was like really screwed up that we were like joking about like me being obsessed with this bunny girl. But I thought it was hilarious. I was like, Dad, you don't get it. Like, this is a really funny joke. He's like, no, you gotta cut this shit out right now. You gotta cut this out. So it hasn't been brought up in a very, very long time. But yeah,
It's too funny.
Yeah, it was too funny not to put in this. But Lope is the original Star Wars girl character.
Star Wars
obsession.
baddie that Jackson was
The
obsessed
original
with.
Star Wars baddie.
Yeah, right after that we got Jackson twerks for money.
That was a
That,
crazy.
what stream was that?
I hate you, Mark. Mark, if you
Shout
ever
out to
watch
Mark
this.
Martin.
We were all three of us separate for that. I remember because Jackson
Yeah.
was at his apartment, I was at my house, and you were here.
I was here.
Yeah, and we had guests on, right? I think
Yeah.
Hybrid and Hunter were on with us.
I don't think that they were.
But we were like, how much for Jackson to twerk on a dono? And then our buddy Mark threw $5 at us. And
I think it
I
was
was like,
10.
10.
It was-
Dude,
it was 10.
We were getting thrown a ton of money for Jackson to twerk.
And then Jackson didn't even do it good.
It was so
That's
bad.
the worst. Is he did.
so bad.
It wasn't even like any like it was out of frame. You could barely. It was just like your lower back. I was like, even I was disappointed.
Felt like I just subscribed to an OnlyFans.
that's
I was
a
disappointed.
video I want to wipe from the face of the internet and prevent people from ever finding. My buddy Mark has a bit of it saved and he'll text it to me. He'll be like, "Remember this? Remember
Is
this?"
that B-Man?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
B-Man. I'm
That's
pretty
too
sure.
funny.
That was
So
pretty
the
funny.
next one is a big. This is
Yes.
behind the scenes 1313. You would
If
really
you were only in the tightest knit group in the Discord, you know about this.
And it
Young
almost ripped
Sheldon
us
fan.
apart.
Young Shell. So context: Hybrid Toy Reviews made a spam account called Young Sheldon Fan in the Discord, and like no
Young
didn't tell-
Sheldon fan number 1 or something like
didn't
that.
tell anybody. And the whole bit of it would be he would like people would be talking about Star Wars, and then he'd be, oh yeah, and by the way, the new episode of Young Sheldon, and it was like this for like a month. And those who know me, I'm not in the
I
Discord.
feel like it wasn't even that long. I feel like it was like
No.
a week.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it was
in-
maybe a
Two.
week.
This was back when I was moderately in the Discord, so it didn't bother me that much. I thought it was hilarious. But
was-
people started to complain about it, and then people started talking to Tommy about it, and then Tommy was like to Jackson, he was like, I think we should ban this person. And Jackson and I were like, well, realistically, he hasn't said anything wrong, doesn't done anything malicious.
Yeah.
I
Because
personally
we
think
wanted to take it from a pass. Because again, we don't take banning lightly. We wanted to have a conversation, be like, "Hey man, can you not spam the Discord? It's annoying people."
and then so like
Tommy was like, "Ban
the
him, ban
next, the
him."
next day, Tommy went ahead and banned him without telling Jackson and I.
Yes.
And the infighting that started because of that almost ended the podcast.
Yes, because we were like, Tommy went behind our backs, and like again, because we try to like communicate everything for 1313. We try to all have a say. And
It's an
agree
even
on it.
partnership.
Yes,
like,
it's an even partnership. So we were like, "You went behind our backs," but then we found out that it was hybrid all along, and that
So-
like pissed us off.
I'll share on my end of it was I'm extremely active in the Discord. Like between the three of us, I'm always checking the Discord,
I'm
always
moderately.
reading it. And
I
this
lurk now.
this account joined, and this account was just it was like all the time, every day. Anytime
Yes.
anyone was talking about anything, this account would like jump in. And at first, for the first few days, I was like, oh, this is a funny little troll account, whatever. Like, like I was like immediately recognized this was a troll account. And then I started getting messages from like 7 or 8 different like people in our Patreon, like people who we're friends with, people who I don't talk to that are in the Discord, like shooting me DMs and be like, hey man, like this account's getting really annoying, like they're spamming all the time, like I'm getting really annoyed. It was like, and it wasn't, you know, just nobody. You had like Fig Fury, Hunter, Tall Guy, like
people that we really like in the Discord.
People who are in our Discord all the time, and you know, our patrons and stuff like that. They were like, we're just really annoyed, we're fed up. So I was like, guys, we really need to ban this person. They were like, well, you know, like they said, realistically, he hasn't done anything. And I said, fine, I'll do it myself. And so I was like, I'll take one for the team. And I Thanos snapped that account away. And we did have this huge argument about it, going back and forth, back and forth. The next day or two went by, and I get a DM. This was before we became like really good friends with Hybrid, like we are now. Hybrid sends me a DM on Discord, and I'm talking to him back and forth, and he just sends me a picture of the Dr. Thunder, which is like the knockoff Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, oh, I said, I can't believe you drink that. And he had a tablet in the picture as well. I didn't realize he pointed it out to me. He goes, look what's on my tablet. It was the login. He was logged into Young Sheldon Fan. And I literally, my jaw dropped. I looked at my phone. I texted you guys immediately. I said, here you go.
It was funny afterwards.
It's funny now.
It's funny now.
But it wasn't.
At the moment, it almost ended our friendship and the podcast. Because I also think at the time there was like little... Because we're around each other so much that we're like to the point of siblings. And Jackson and I, this happened to us a lot when we were younger, where like just little things would build up and then we'd blow up on each other and then not talk for a week. And then like a week later it'd be fine. So like we're around Tommy so much now. Yep, we're around Tommy so much that's like the exact same thing that happens now. So I think it was like a little snowball, and then that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Because then it was like we were yelling about that and about other things. I mean, it's like that picture of like the ladies from Bravo yelling at the cat.
It was lore dumping.
It was a ton of shit all came out at once.
Young Sheldon Fan is now like a very well-known thing in the Discord, because people will still scroll all the way up in the welcome room to where Young Sheldon Fan first joined and then reply to it now, and they'll be like, oh, Young Sheldon Fan, welcome to the Discord.
Awful.
The next one here is a good story from a podcast episode.
Yeah. Hey, I hit by a car. I can't believe this is on this.
It was a thing for like a week or two. That's all you were talking about.
Yeah, it got brought up a lot.
Yeah, well, it was so... context for those that weren't here for it. I was running errands for my dad on my one-wheel downtown Erie. I was on 12th and State, and some idiot blew a red light going 45. I went through their windshield. I wasn't wearing a helmet. I went through their windshield. I dented the fuck out of the front of their car. I nearly took off the bumper. I somehow took off a side mirror. And then my board wedged itself underneath the tire. It's probably the only thing that kept them from rolling me over. And then they hit the brakes. I flew out and I like kind of like rolled in front of the car. And like just kind of was like fight or flight. It was like, I gotta get up. So I stood up. I take my board out from under their car, and this lady gets out of the car and just starts yelling at me. She's like, my fucking car. And I was like, I ain't got no insurance. What you doing? No, she's yelling at me, and then she just goes, I got full coverage, and she drives away.
Oh, I thought you said she didn't have insurance.
No, she probably didn't. The I got full coverage probably means I don't have insurance. So she drove away, and there's the only person that like really saw it was this dude on a bench. I'm pretty sure he was homeless. He just was like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah." And my board stopped working, so then I had to like walk to a McDonald's and like call my mom.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I felt awful because he called me first, and I was in a class, and I was like, "It's a call from Jacob," and I was like, "Do I really take it right now?"
No, he fucking.
And I was like, typically when Jacob calls me, and like I felt so, and now whenever Jacob calls me, like I have to pick up because it's that conscious thought of he got hit again and he needs me.
I don't remember where I was because I remember you called me as well.
Yeah,
I think I was at LensCrafters or something. Like
Maybe yeah. That was an awful day. I felt really really bad about that.
Yeah, it was and it was that same day that you and I were supposed to go to like some like haunted house, and then like everybody canceled on it.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that
because then I was sad about that too, And then that was the day that my ex came and it was like, surprise! And at the time I was like, cool, but now, fuck you! And then, wait, I'm gonna take that out.
Hey, you gotta edit this one!
That should have been on the.
That should have been on the.
No, here's an iceberg. The 1313 X's and the
it's
merch
coming up.
picture.
Oh, it's coming up. No, it's in the
Oh, it's
bottom
in here?
tier.
It's in the
It's in the
bottom tier.
bottom tier. Let
Stay
it
tuned.
wait.
So
Red
the
pill,
next,
blue pill.
The
Red
next
pill,
one
blue
is
pill.
red pill, blue pill.
Thank you, Ryan. You're a dick. You can edit that one out if you want. But this is about some jerk named Ryan who's joining our Discord who sucks off OTB.
So this one was, again, this is pretty early on into, this is probably within the first year of the podcast, I would say. Fig Fury has been a huge supporter of the podcast.
Thank you, Fig Fury.
Patreon member. He's been with, former Patreon member.
Lights.
He's been, he's now a channel member on 2 different accounts in our channel membership. So he's been a huge supporter of our channel since day one, really.
Yes.
And we were talking in the Discord one day about this, like, not even like anything political, just about taxes and like how much money the government takes and like how it's annoying that you work overtime and then like extra money, like because in Pennsylvania you get 50% of your overtime pay gets taken by taxes. So it's really annoying, you know. So we were just kind of complaining as working class people, like, you know, oh, blah blah blah. And then this dude, Ryan M, he is still in the Out of the Basement Discord to this day. He jumped in the Discord and he was a lurker for the most part.
Yeah.
He jumped in and was like, I just prefer blue pilled Out of the Basement over this red pilled 1313. If you don't know what the blue pill, red pill is your more Democrat, red pill is your more Republican. We didn't really understand why that came
apolitical.
up.
We are apolitical.
We've always made a point to not bring up politics on the podcast, and so I don't really understand where that. So anyway, we had like an argument with him. I think we ended up kicking because I said like, "What are you talking about?" And then he like jumped down my throat.
Yeah.
So we kicked him. We didn't realize at the time there's a difference between kicking and banning.
Yeah.
So he joined back, apologized, and
begging on his knees, glazing us.
And we were like, "Yeah, dude, no worries. Like, you know, we just, you know, this you're a dude that barely talks in the Discord versus a guy that is always in our community and is a super positive, good person."
Yeah.
And then we had multiple issues with him later on. There was one point I remember when like the HasLab Ghost was coming out.
Yes.
And I tweeted on our podcast account like all these collectors crying about how it's $500. Just say you're broke.
Literally.
And for somehow that got to like woke socialist Twitter, and then everyone like started calling us like alt-right, right-wing capitalists, and I was like, no, I'm just making fun of people who spend multiple thousands of dollars a year on their collections and then cry when they have to spend more money on their on all stuff that's like so first world luxury items. And there was one time last summer we had banned him from the Discord later on, and then in the middle of the summer I was just talking in the Out of the Basement Discord, and all of a sudden I just see a screenshot of the tweet come up, and he just goes, "This you?" And I'm like, yeah, what about it? It was completely irrelevant to the conversation everyone was having. And he's like, yeah, I just think that this is a really awful thing for you to say. You're so right-wing, you're so alt-right. And then he started like trying to rally people that were actively talking in their Discord to like hate on us and be like, these guys kicked me because I was expressing my political views and they only accept alt-right conservative views on their Discord. We don't. And then everyone in there was like, can you both just shut up? Like no one. And I was like, dude, you ride my meat so hard. You have such a hate boner for me. I remember that.
And I feel like, oh no, you finish. I apologize for that.
No, you're good. And then like, he just like he would just come out of the woodwork at random. Yeah. Like, and he'd be like, I just hate you so much. I just hate you. I hate you. And I'm like. Then he went MIA for the longest time, and now he's back in the OOTV Discord and just causing havoc again.
The funny part, too, is that
somebody clip this and send it to him.
Although we are very, very good friends with Nate and Justin from Out of the Basement, and while we might disagree politically on the few things that we've discussed in private with them, that's never stopped us from being their friends. And so when these people on their Discord channel try discrediting us, they've continuously jumped to our support and been like, why are you guys like hating on 1313? Like, we've met 1313. They're nice people. They're not the alt-right in quotations.
Also, if you
which is just funny.
Watch or have a chat with Vanessa Marshall. Vanessa Marshall is very feminist leaning, girl boss leaning. And we had a wonderful conversation with her about it.
And
We're
again,
here to talk about all topics, and we're accepting of all
There's
peoples.
there's
so
also
cry about it.
There's we get brought up later.
Yes, it's gonna get brought up later.
But this whole thing resurfaces because of a TikTok too.
and I think it's kind of crazy because like I said, we've always made a point to not talk about politics,
Yes.
especially our personal political views
Yes.
on the podcast.
Because this is a Star Wars show. If
Yeah.
you want to watch real world politics, watch the news. That's not what we're here
and it's
for.
also just kindergarten level name calling.
Yes.
Like there's
Yes.
no evidence to back up anything that him or other people have said to us about what they believe our political views to be.
Mhm.
It's all just name calling because we're just three white dudes on a Star Wars podcast. That's really what it comes down to.
You're run of the mill 3 white guys with microphones.
Yeah, like it's pretty common when it comes to podcasts. Anyways, but that's red pill, blue pill, and that's another thing that gets mentioned a lot in our
Yes.
Discord is that sounds pretty red pill of you. And then of course we have our next one is the soundboard.
Yeah.
We used to have a soundboard, and we don't
No,
really use it anymore.
It came up last
The
week.
sound effects still exist.
We made like custom sound effects.
You can't hear it when we're recording.
No, yeah, we can't hear them, but you can hear them as a listener. But
Yeah.
we'll probably revive
We
it.
used to have a custom board, and then we used to mess with it all the time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
This one's one of my favorite. Jacob, do you remember your Lego Cody that I got you?
Yeah.
This was from Dylan from Under the Helmet. Thank you so much. He found a custom Lego Cody at a convention, and this was before the ATTE set was available. And I got it for Jacob. I showed it to him on the show, and he went, "It's all right." I was like,
Well, no,
"But it
so,
was a gift."
so there was this there's a point in time where there was no Phase 2 Lego Cody,
Yes.
and I just hopped on the bandwagon of like begging Lego for it because I
There-
thought it was funny.
Their podcast doesn't even exist anymore. They haven't done an episode in 2 years.
Oh wow,
Under the
really?
Helmet?
Oh
Yeah.
man,
There
Dylan's
was
a nice guy.
there was a lot of Star Wars podcasts that fizzled out around the time Book of Boba came out.
Yeah,
because
that's
of like Rex and Around kind of quit around that time.
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I still talk to him.
Yeah.
I had talked to him last week.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, there was just this point in time where it was like I was begging Lego for a Cody, and then it came out with the ATTE set. But
there's even a clip on our live stream.
there's
Yeah.
there's that
Moon
point.
Knight.
There's the point in time where I made memes about like stuff like because Out of the Basement has like their dono jokes, and I was like, I really like those. I'm gonna steal that. So I made like 2 or 3, and then just like I still have a notes list of stuff to make. I just haven't.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lego Cody.
It's here.
Yeah.
And now
We're
we're
at the
on to
bottom
the
of the
final
iceberg.
tier.
The
Also,
bottom of
guys,
the
if we could
iceberg.
probably wrap this up in like the next 20 minutes, please. I have to go to work.
At what time?
If you could drive me at like 11:40 or 45.
Yeah, it's fine.
bro, okay, we gotta speed run this.
Speed run, but it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
First one, name stuffed animals. This goes out to, let me grab them. What are their
Episode
names
2 of the
actually?
Peter and something else.
Peter and I forget the name, but it was these Build-A-Bears. We had people name them, and we featured them on the set, and then they never came back.
They
Yeah.
chill in the corner.
Yeah, they watch us every day.
Yeah.
They watched. So yeah, it's Peter, and I forget the Loath Cat's name, but
It was we did like a name them in the comments. Whoever gets the most liked comment, that's what it will be. So there's that, and now they just sit. On
they
the
just sit there and watch
next
us.
to Grogu and the Lula.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is another one I think Jackson
Clone
really has to
pensions.
talk
I feel
about.
we won't hit on it too much, but it was kind of the red pill blue pill joke. I made a joke on the podcast.
No,
that
you
wasn't
fully
a joke.
believe
You
it.
believe
How
it.
clone troopers
believe
shut
it.
up.
Shut up.
How
You
clone
know-
troopers
you
should
know-
not deserve
He
pensions.
knows damn well that he fully believed that with his heart and soul.
I said clone troopers should have pensions, and people crucified me on TikTok. They were calling us the alt-right. They said, this is what happens when you give
The
alt-right,
GOPs.
when the GOP's a podcast
I had
platform
to
to talk
Google what
about stuff.
GOP was.
I think my 2 favorites were and you can still see them if you
They're
find
available,
our
yeah.
mentions. The one was they all wore this like Ahsoka like face filter. I didn't understand
and
what
they're
the
like
comment.
40-year-old dudes, dude.
Yeah,
It's so
the
disgusting.
first one was some woman that was like literally just right out the gate, stitched it and goes, "This is why I hate Republican Star Wars fans." And I was like, huh? And then the other one that was my favorite was this other guy was like, "Yeah, so I watched some of their content, and you can just tell that they really like the Empire because they're alt-right Republicans." And I was like, Where?
Where?
What are you talking
We're
about?
cloners. We're cloners.
It was great. So if
No,
you
yeah.
that TikTok also got a couple 100,000.
It's
views.
one of our most viewed TikToks,
Yeah.
next to one of the other ones that you and Jacob
I
made.
hate that it's one of our most viewed TikToks.
Oh,
Because
I agree.
because it was such a negative like look on us, because it was Jackson fully believed it with his heart and soul. And Tommy and I were like, no, the entire
the
time.
craziest part was in the TikTok, we both disagree with him in the
Yes.
And
clip.
then half of the comments were like, one of them was like, just because one says it, that means they all believe it. And I was like, that doesn't mean that. It does not mean
It
that.
just shows that people on TikTok only exist on TikTok because
Yeah,
that has
yeah,
never transferred over to YouTube. That's why I don't post a lot on TikTok anymore,
Yeah.
because I don't really consider it a useful platform in quotations, but
Right.
maybe we will in the future.
So the first band Discord member, Jackson, you
Shout out to, it was my old roommate Joey, God bless his soul. He passed away last year, unfortunately, but he was our first band Discord member, because when we were roommates in college, he thought it would be hilarious to join our Discord and send Rule 34 Ahsoka and Rey pictures. And we have, if you remember in our Discord, we have kids on our Discord, and so I was on it immediately.
don't tell Drake we have kids in our Discord.
Don't tell Drake. We banned him immediately and deleted the content, so we're certain nobody really saw it. But he was like, Jackson, why'd you ban me? That's stupid. He used to do like hand motions and stuff too. God rest him. But I mean, like, it was really funny. But yeah, he's our first banned Discord member ever. I think the second is Shark. I think the third is Ryan. I don't really think we have a long. Yeah, Sheldon.
And then there might be another one that we banned.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Star Wars Dinks.
Dinks.
So if
I
you don't
was in
remember, Star Wars Dinks was a puppet on TikTok that talked about Star
Rest
Wars
in
lore
piss. You won't be missed.
that turned out to be extremely homophobic and extremely racist.
Not even like left up to speculation.
Like, yeah, it was on their personal Facebook out in the open. So then like it was the week after we had him on our podcast, dude is getting canceled, and we were like, oh no.
Well, yeah, the way I found out was I used to work at that time. I was working 2 jobs, and so I
Yeah.
would go from LensCrafters to Sarah's, and so I was working like 50 hours a week. I was on the drive from one job to the other, and
Yeah.
we were in Taiwan.
Yes, I was in
And
another country.
like this video started blowing up, and I was like, why is this getting hundreds of views all of a sudden? And then people were commenting, did you guys know that this guy got canceled? Like, oh, this is crazy that this came out like a week before he got canceled. And I I was like looking at my phone, and I immediately called Jacob. I was like, dude, we gotta take down the video. I'm driving right now. Take down the video. Take down the video.
I remember taking this call in the break room. I was like, wait, what? And I looked on TikTok and I immediately saw it. I was like,
The guy
archive
he posted pictures on his Facebook of him with the puppet, because on TikTok he tried to remain anonymous, but on his Facebook he posted his physical face with the puppet and was straight up saying that he hated gay people, and like just like no excuses, no nothing. It was not accepted, it was a sin. It was like, oh my gosh, we have to distance ourselves from this.
Ultra conservative Christian view.
Yes.
So we were like,
and he's still around. He doesn't go by Dinks anymore, but he's on TikTok and he posts with the puppet.
Christian
and he
content
posts
now.
Christian content in quotations as someone who has never attended a seminary. No one who has a biblical knowledge at all. He just says, hey guys, the Bible says this. And where does it say it? I made it the fuck up. So take that with a grain of salt. I hate people that are like that.
Misleading the youth on
Misleading the youth on important issues.
and the best part was just like when he's like, guys, I'm under attack.
Yeah, he was like, guys, don't mention, because we emailed him too.
defend me.
So yeah, we emailed him.
Yes.
I think we told him that we were taking that video down. Or we like, because at the time we didn't see his Facebook yet, so we shot him an email. We were like, hey man, best of luck. And then he was like, don't go down with the ship trying to defend me, which I do respect that he was like, distance yourself from me because you're gonna go down with me. That was very nice of him. But no, it just turns out he's just got hate in his heart, and I hope the Lord changes that for him. So,
got a heart full of hate.
mm-hmm.
Why didn't you warn us? It's one of our funniest and
great
most
one.
screwed up bits.
That's a great one that
So
we've
this
never
occurred-
explicitly mentioned.
This was when we were doing an interview with Action Display. Shout out to Action Display. He's one of our biggest supporters. We love him to death. He's super, super nice. God bless him. And we were doing have a chat with him, and he was talking about how Croatia is a day ahead of the United States. And so when he said that, I leaned over to Jacob and Tom, and I
it's
said,
audible on the thing.
I said, why didn't you warn us? It's a 9/11 joke. I will admit it's crude, it's not appropriate, but we were
really
immature
funny.
at the time and we thought it was funny. So he said, "Why didn't you warn us?" And we were
Jackson said
dying
we're
laughing.
immature at the time, like he doesn't still to this day make the joke on the podcast
too
every
funny.
so often.
It was really, really funny though.
It's so funny.
So the next one is border sizing.
So for those
Yes.
who don't know, for the longest time, I was the only one that made the thumbnails, and then like I was sometime last year, I started getting busy, and I just fell behind on my own like stuff. So then Jackson and Tommy started making their own, and when I had it, there was like this template that I had that I should have exported and like gave to them, but I never did, and it was the border with the logo. And now, like, when Tommy makes a thumbnail, it's a different logo, and it's, like, not the little sprites, and Jackson makes it, but the border's, like, this fucking thick. So it's just, there's no consistency anymore, and it just changes all the time, so.
Here's an iceberg moment, too, that I didn't add on. It's really, really deep cut. The text that I used on every Bad Batch episode, the font name is Emery.
Oh.
So for every Bad Batcher that we have, the font name is Emery that I use for all of this stuff. And that was kind of like a deep cut lore thing for me to be like, it's Emery, and Emery's in the Bad Batch. And whatever.
So the next one is a Jackson one, Patreon exclusive.
Oh yeah,
videos.
Patreon exclusive videos, just references. I studied religion in college, and so some of my final projects are video-based projects, except the most recent one I posted publicly on YouTube for you all to enjoy because it tied in with the Ahsoka. But I would post my final project videos, Patreon exclusives. It's a bit stupid, I will admit it, and a lot of people don't care. But I thought it was funny to do, and that's why I did it.
I deleted them.
No!
I deleted them. Lore,
That's too
Beg
funny.
for them back. Beg for them back.
nope, they're gone.
I hate you. I hate you.
That's too.
Because
funny.
I was like, no.
We're moving on. Headsets and videos.
Headsets in the video. That one's pretty.
So for the first week, first month or so of the podcast, we all wore Razer headphones.
But it
connected
didn't
to our
do
mics.
anything. We just wore the headsets
Well,
for the
it was-
sake of wearing
We
them.
wore them because we could hear ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah.
it was dumb because it wasn't daisy chained, so we could. It's not like we could all hear each other and how
Yeah.
like our audio. So we'd have like one cup off our head.
You'd only hear yourself.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
dumb. It was really dumb.
It's pretty funny.
The pregnant emoji.
The
I
preg. So
think this was started by Bly.
this was no. I think this was Cook or Bly.
It
Someone.
was one of
People
them.
started reacting to messages in our Discord. And again, I don't know where all these accusations come from on our podcast. But so basically, long story short, the people would react similarly to how I said they'd react with a shark emoji if they're being
Yeah.
sarcastic. They would use the pregnant black man emoji to react to messages. Like, it was just random. Like, people would just use the most random. Like, right now it's Christmas tree. I don't know why
Yeah.
everyone's reacting with Christmas trees, but they are. So we
The
had
people choose.
we had a group chat with a bunch of other creators that we're friends with,
Mm-hmm.
and we had an accusation come out in that group chat.
Oh yeah,
where
that one.
another creator, and I will not
Who-
name him out
who
of
we-
respect for him because we're cool with him. It's not, you know.
We don't really talk to him anymore, but
I talked to him on like every once in a while about like TVC and stuff, but he was like, "Hey, why do you guys do that?" And we were like, "I don't know. Like, it's just
Yeah.
dumb and stupid." And he was like, "I think you guys are racist." And we were like, excuse me?" And everyone else in the chat was like, "What are you talking about, dude? Where are you getting this from?" And he was like, "Respectfully, I'm gonna have to distance myself from you because I believe you're all," to everyone in the group chat, "I believe you're all innately racist, so I'm not going to talk to any of you publicly." And we were like, "Okay, word," and that was it. That's where
word.
the
Yeah.
pregnant man emoji comes
I
from.
think it was
that
at
was weird.
training when that happened.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were.
I was.
because it was so that was part of the time where I was in group chats and I was just watching it happen. Like, what? Also, for those now, I might not talk in the Discord. I do lurk now. I'm a daily lurker. I just don't talk. So
It was wild. Now we have another
I had to include
goated
this.
one. The
So-
Marvel,
Marvel
episode.
episode.
So right around when the first wave of Marvel shows was happening on Disney Plus, when you had Captain America, which was a banger, Loki season 1, which was a banger, and Moon Knight, all of those, I was like, I was in my Marvel phase. I was infatuated with it. I started getting Marvel Legends. I started like reading comics, and I was like, this was during a Star Wars drought. So I was like, guys, I'm getting like really, really into this. Would you guys want to do like a Marvel episode sometime? Because it was like I was so obsessed with it, and they wanted nothing to. No, it almost
We almost
happened,
had it with
because we
Gator.
almost had it with Gator,
Gator.
Gator.
and then he never had open availability, and then it never happened. Then I still asked for it for like a year, and you guys were just like, no. So it died.
I didn't want to do it.
Completely unrelated. I just wanted to share. Skywalker Hendricks just sent a screenshot of a comment on one of his videos that says, "I had no idea Chris Griffin collected Star Wars figures."
Stay mad, bro. Skywalker Hendricks is literally about to get Hot Toys for free. You can stay crying in your basement
he's
that you
literally
pay
about to-
full price for them
He's
shits.
getting hot, dude. You see him? You see all the weight he's losing? He
just-
looks so good.
Oh yeah. He also
He's gonna-
lost a shit ton of
He's
weight.
gonna be cute and breedable. Just give him like 6
He's
months.
gonna be unstoppable when we go to Japan, bro.
He also-
All these ladies are gonna be on him.
Totally lost my train of thought. But
That's okay. That's okay.
oh, he also actually is working on a Chris Griffin Luke Skywalker costume. Like that's the funniest part.
Oh,
of
that
it.
is.
Oh, that's
But,
funny.
Anyway, so now we're down to our last
First merch drop.
The
two. So you
first
kind of
merch
mentioned this
drop.
earlier, Jacob.
So we did a photo shoot with the 3 of us and our girlfriends at the time.
Oh,
except for
who's now my
Jackson.
wife, but not for them.
And so
definitely not.
they we did this photo shoot with them, just taking pictures of like the new merch and stuff.
helmets on.
So then
Helmets
women could
on.
also like see what merch would look like on them, just because
Yeah.
we're only guys.
Yeah, and now within 2 months of that, Tommy broke up with that girl, and you guys noticed my absence at the beginning of the year and my melancholy Instagram, so you know what happened. Yeah, that happened. So now it's a thing, and is that still up on?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, the that
social
trailer
media.
is still up.
Yeah,
on the
this
channel.
trailer's still up too. But yeah,
yeah.
everybody. Yeah, it's just in parentheses. I put it, but I delete it. I was just putting X's in the photos because it's
Yeah.
just like those are the women that Jacob and Tommy both dated at the time.
Yeah.
L.
It's an L.
Anyway,
Keep your crowns on, kings.
so
The final one.
And the final
The
one.
final one.
This was a video that we did where this sucked. Okay, more beyond like. So the joke is that we did a video where we went and did figure photography
Yeah.
at a local park.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And it was a lot of fun.
Photos were cool.
And there was a joke where I was using my Canon T6 and I was like, "Oh, I was shooting with my Canon T6." And Tom was like, "I'm shooting with my phone." And then Jackson, we were like, "What are you shooting with, Jackson?"
I said, my Glock.
And it was a joke. It was really funny. And like within 10 minutes of that joke being made, I'm taking a picture of a scout trooper on his bike in the water.
I don't remember.
And I stood I was in the creek.
Oh.
And the mud there was just an air pocket, and I like went down like my thigh, and I like got soaked, and it was like swamp mud, so it stank.
Yes.
And immediately after this, we went to the bank to set up the 1313 account, and I reeked. And I was like to the teller, I was like, "Dude, I am so sorry." I was like, we were just like shooting pictures, and I fell in the mud.
It was.
It was funny.
His leg was so.
I forgot
it was
about
like all
that, dude.
brown.
He's like,
That's-
"Guys, I'm really cold."
It was awful. Are there pictures on? There's pictures somewhere.
It's on my social media. I
It's
think
on
we
my
posted
socials.
on
I
mine.
Yeah,
think they're
yeah.
going off mine.
Oh.
Because I wiped my Instagram clean.
Oh. I like keeping old stuff on.
So I archive them, so I still have them.
Oh.
But and then this was funny. So there's one picture I did on that day of like Jason killing a 332nd trooper, and
Yeah.
then like the next year, Fig Fury did a Halloween figure photography competition, and like the top prize was the sand trooper with the backpack, like the Jet Patrol trooper.
Jet Patrol.
So I was like, "Oh, it's Halloween. I have this picture that I took last year. I'll just throw this in
Didn't
just
you
because I won first place." And
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Wow.
I felt bad because everybody else was like taking new pictures and editing them, and I just went, "Man, I have this," and then it won. So sorry, guys.
People went, "Clone Trooper. Oh, I like Clone Trooper."
Cloner.
Yeah.
So that's the 1313 Iceberg.
Yes, that's the iceberg.
Let us know your deep cuts that you wish were on here. Discuss them in the comments below, or in the Discord. This iceberg is going to be open for people to look at.
It's on the
Right.
social media.
Then you can check it out yourself and let us know what
For show.
what you
The
like.
show.
Thank you guys for sticking with us for almost 3 years now. And now it's pray and hope and plead that this podcast survives while we go remote.
It'll survive. We'll make it. We'll make it.
It better.
The podcast has evolved, improvised, and adapted.
Always. And it will continuously evolve and improvise.
And even if we're not posting podcast episodes, there will still be reviews,
Yep.
vlogs,
Sure.
TikToks, short form content.
Yeah.
Everything will continue to go out as usual. And, back here at home base in PA, I have plenty of videos planned to do with, I know Jen's been begging me to do another podcast episode because she has gotten through the OT now. We're
The
watching
women
Mando.
on the show. That should have been on the Iceberg. The girlfriends on the show episode that
yeah.
you two did. Archive that one.
But I feel like
that one down.
so there's one like that. I know that I want to have my brother on an episode at some point. So we have plenty of stuff, like just bonus episodes and stuff that we want to do.
I know
So
for the next 6 months I'm being a Disney adult and I'm gonna make a bunch of Disney content while I'm down there. And I also there might be me and Kylo might make a BB-8 while we're down
That would
there.
be
So that might
cool.
be a series that happens on his stuff and on our stuff as well.
So really, it's just going to be, other than podcast episodes, you're just going to see like a lot of 1313 content where it's just one of us, which is cool though because we're going to be able to explore new content and things like that. Like with Jacob, like we've never done Galaxy's Edge content before, so that'll be a whole new area of the fandom that we can open up to.
Yeah, so it'll be like the Disney vlog I did, but more.
Yeah.
So
More.
I'll become one of those pin people and I'll get all the pins. No.
Grinch.
Make sure you get the headbands. There's a secret Mickey in this tree.
I might become that. So, but thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the podcast. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know what we missed. If you have a favorite moment that we didn't talk about, and join the Discord because then you can be in on most of these jokes and know what's truly going on behind the scenes and know when we're about to fall apart. So, thank you guys so much for staying with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, goodbye.